he was diagnosed of a disorder and was treated upon. And he saw the need of coming to Ghana to help us create awareness and support our pupils to also get to the highest points that we want them to be. Without wasting much time, I'd like to introduce our CEO of AAFOD. AAFOD means African Association for Dyslexia. He's in the person of Mr. Seth Afienya. Let's welcome him.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Please, I would like to take this opportunity to tell you to be very serious on this issue, because you all are facing that kind of challenges in your classrooms, and especially the proprietors that are here. You need all the teachers to take part to learn what dyslexia is, and it is something we call learning disorder. Learning disorder. So if you're a teacher here and you teach in class, we want to let you know what a dyslexia is. But before I start, is there anyone here who knows something about dyslexia or have heard the name dyslexia before as a teacher? Do any of you know? Yes, can you please tell us a little bit about dyslexia? Please. So let's be on the track. Normally in my time, they call Ori number 10. And then you let Ori number 10 stand up. And then what will happen? Who can tell me? Normally they put at the people, the first Ori, and then second Ori, and then the one who carried the whole class, they put at these people. And then, in fact, not knowing that those kind of things that the teachers let the children does is a very wrong thing. Practically, psychologically, it's not good at all. But let me ask you, which of the children that when he's first, he will not be happy? Can you think? Which of them will not be happy? Everybody will be happy when he's first. But the secret is, it's not the child's fault. The child who did not know how to read or write is not his fault. But whose fault is it? Anyone? Think. As a teacher, yes? It's the teacher. It's the teacher. Number one. The teacher. You, the teacher, you need to think outside the box. But actually, that is the second issue, though. The first issue is a genetic issue. I'm coming to brainstorm you. It's a genetic issue. If, let's say, my brother has it, but the wife do not have it, it's 50-50 in creation of a child. Do you understand what I mean? Yes. So we are mature. When sex takes place and, ovulation, blah, 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 so the combination, if you have it, if the man have it, the child will always have it. Now, according to statistics, 4 children, 1 will always have it. Or 3 children will have it and 1 will be okay. But people think it's a sickness. No, it's not a sickness. If someone is blind, it's not a sickness. If someone is dead, it's not a sickness. It's being born with it. It's a genetic issue. So that is how the brain functions. And that is the brain issue. And my beloved sister will come and explain how it works. And we'll be showing some pictures and videos. And she will be on it with you. So please pay attention. I think I'll pause here, but I'll come back again. And all you need is probably if you want your school to go on well, or you, the teacher, to have an idea about how to solve this kind of problems, then you can see her and she can see us, or you can talk to Madam here, and then we can come to your school to help you. Is that clear? Thank you. Yeah,
the room is too dull for me. As he's going to operate the video, let the pastor and sing a solidarity song. I told I'm a teacher like you.
These are private schools.
Oh, private schools. Oh, that's fine. Oh, okay, sorry. So we're going to watch a short video on how the children suffer in the classroom. Okay, those who were not here, I introduced myself earlier. My name is a professional teacher, a career coach, and a play therapist. I teach the school at teaching at Matthew J.H.'s, Ledokuku, Pro, Northern Second, to be precise. Now, when we talk of dyslexia, we are looking at a learning disorder that can be seen through somebody's speech, how the child writes, how they read, and there's some too, it has to do with how they do their calculation in dealing with what? Numbers. We have most of these kids in our classroom who have speech problems. They can't read, and when we are teaching, and we see such things, it's going to be very furious. Is it the fault of the children? Is it the fault of the teacher? As we digest this topic, we'll get to understand it more. Whether it's your fault, or the child's fault, or the fault of the parents, we see much about it. Now, when we talk of learning disorder, we are looking at a situation that deviates the individual from the normal function of doing things. We have a lot of disorders. We have ADHD, hyperdeficit hyperactivity disorder. We have dysgraphia. We have dyslexia, and so on and so forth. But our focus this morning is going to be on dyslexia. Is that ready?
Take a moment to read the following.
So let's look at what we have there. Try reading what you see there. Try reading what you have there. Is it making meaning?
How was that? Frustrating? Slow? What were those sentences about? They're actually a simulation of the experience of dyslexia, designed to make you decode each word. Those with dyslexia experience that laborious pace every time they read. When most people think of dyslexia, they think of seeing letters and words backwards, like seeing B as D and vice versa, or they might think people with dyslexia see saw as was. The truth is, people with dyslexia see things the same way as everyone else. Dyslexia is caused by a phonological processing problem, meaning people affected by it have trouble not with seeing language, but with manipulating it. For example, if you heard the word cat and then someone asked you to remove C, what word would you have left? At. This can be difficult for those with dyslexia. Given a word in isolation like fantastic, students with dyslexia need to break the word into parts to read it. Fantastic. Time spent decoding makes it hard.
What we're trying to read. The first one, when you're able to read something, it wasn't clear, it wasn't making any meaning. That is how the children suffer, especially the dyslexic ones in the classroom. That is how they suffer. And we assume they are all okay. So when we are teaching, we just move along with all of them, instead of going at a lower pace for the dyslexic one. So you can see, looking at this chart, I want you to try to tell me something. Comparing these two charts over there. What do you notice? Use the lines to explain something to me. Use the lines.
It means that the one without the dyslexia can read faster. And what faster reads than the one with dyslexia.
Good. So those without dyslexia, they are fast in doing things. Now looking at those with dyslexia, they go at a slower pace. Now, how do we identify people with dyslexia? Now, the first thing by which you can identify dyslexic children in the classroom is that they tend to have poor spelling. They have poor spelling.
Spelling words phonetically, like S-T-I-K for stick and pen.
Now, when you are having a dictation and you mention a word, by the time you will be at number 2, the dyslexic child will now be thinking of how to spell the word for you. So most of them, they confuse the homophones. For example, when I mention a word like rain and rain, you know, rain as in water and rain as in what? Period. The child will be tempted to write what? The period one for you. And then when you mention a word like peak and peak, P-E-E-K, P-E-A-K. You see, there are two different things. Good. So they have poor spellings. Now, dyslexic children in the classroom too, they tend to have delayed speech. Most of them tend to have delayed speech. What do I mean by saying they have delayed speech? We all know that basically between 12 to 15 months, a child is supposed to come out with some basic words, mama, dada, and so on and so forth. So when you see a child who has a speech problem, it means that during that stage, the child had a problem with this or what, oral motor skills. Meaning, when you look at the human brain, it is divided into two hemispheres. We have the left part of the brain and then the right part of the brain. So the brain that is responsible for speech is not being well coordinated with the brain. That is why they tend to have what? Low speech and then delayed what? Speech. So when you call a child, for example, like that, and you give the textbook to the child to read, the child will just be looking at your face. You might think the child is stubborn or something, but it's not his fault. Because of that problem the child had during that time, that is why the child is behaving that way. Then the next thing too is that children that have dyslexia in the classroom, they are slow readers. They turn out to be what? Slow readers. So as we saw this video, you could see the one that dyslexia will just be rattling. The child will just be rattling the words. If it's about singing, the child will sing. If it's about writing, the child will copy the thing very fast. But the dyslexic child, when you call them to read, some of them tend to do something. Please, you can give me an example of what they normally do. There's no readers in the class. Catch your mind back. What do you normally see about them? Slow readers in the class. There's something peculiar which they have been doing. They're scratching their head. You see them scratching their head. You see them scratching their head. And then the next one too, they do what? They stammer. Or put it over by force. The child will tend to do that. And you see sometimes, because we don't understand it, it will become very furious. It's not their fault too. Let us be patient for them, and everything will be fine. And then the next thing too is that they tend to have difficulty learning the names of the letters of the alphabet. They have difficulty learning the names of the letters of the alphabet. So you can see that they tell the words. When you mention B, they learn the word B. The child write D. And then the letter N too. You see that most of them write it as W. What's another word again? Are you not thinking of what they do? Yes. Any more example?
They see blood for them.
Good. That is what they do. Now, another way of identifying them is that they tend to, they don't even remember their words. They find it very difficult to retrieve their words when talking. So, for example, when you are having a program, let's say you are having reading comprehension, and then you guide them to read. By the time you go to page 2, the child will now be trying to retrieve what he was able to read in page 1. So when you give them reading comprehension exercise, they will just be sitting down, wasting time. Some of them will just chewing their pen, some will be chewing their pencil, because he's not able to remember, let alone to even try to pick what is there. Because you, the teacher, you were not moving along with them. We tend to generalize it. I remember some time ago when I was posted to my station to teach, I did something which I really felt bad. And after I've come to learn a lot in AAFOD, sometimes I feel very bad, but I know it wasn't my fault. You know what I was doing? In the classroom, I always group them after exercise. I will group them into 3. Shaktoto, Shakrere, and Shakunamuna. Now, when I enter the classroom, I know the Shaktotos, they are always on my right. The Shakrere, they are in the middle part. And then the Shakunamuna, I just park them at the left side. Did I do a good thing? No. I tend to look down on most of them. But to the glory of God, those that I look down on, I have 2 of them now who have become businessmen. And the kind of cars they are even driving, me as I'm standing there, I don't even have bicycle tire. And they see me and sometimes they are happy. They will even call me, sometimes they will even pick me to school. And they will be telling their wives or their husband, hey, madam, we need to more thereof. Do more than DNA. Then I'll just roll up together and they'll go. So please, learn from my example. Another way by which we can also, it's funny, it's not funny as you see it. I regret totally for some of the things that I did today. Another way by which you can identify them is that, now when a close relative is having dyslexia, it's likely that one of the child also have it. So as CEO said earlier on, please can I use the 2 of you as example? Let's assume the 2 of them, they are couples. You know the woman is coming from a different background. The man is also coming from a different background. Supposing any of them have a dyslexic member in their family, when they give birth to 4 children, 1 will be a gifted child, 3 will be dyslexic children, or 4 out of the 4, 3 can be gifted children, and then 1 person will be a dyslexic child. And then as you are in the room now, research has also told us that out of every 20 individuals, 1 person is dyslexic. How many of us are in the room? Let's assume we are 40. So if you are 40, then it means we have 2 dyslexic people in here. So who is that dyslexic person?
Out of us.
Now, there are some myths that people always say about dyslexia. And dyslexia people, they see this backwards. Others too say they have a poor eyesight. Others too say, hey, it's a developmental disability. Some people also say that is curable. Is dyslexia curable? Is it a developmental disability? Is it something that you can just take medicine? You take your child to hospital and they'll give your child medicine to take, and the doctor will tell you, oh, dyslexia is born out of your child. That is the mind of people, the perception of people out there. That it's wrong. Now, people with dyslexia, they don't tend to see things backwards. Neither can they be given what? Medications for it to go instantly. But we just take them through certain steps in guiding them towards learning. And it has to do, the first thing has to do with you, the teacher, showing love and then accepting. When you are able to show love and you accept the child, that is when you'll be able to what? Help the child. Dyslexic children in the classroom, they don't normally have as you say, they normally go to the white collar or things. There are those that have interest in skills that do not require much work, learning. They tend to have interest in what the skill way. So you can perceive that when you are having creative arts, there are those that excel, true or false?
True.
Yes.
True.
When you are doing the mathematics and the sciences, you will not see them. But when it's time for creative arts, hey, they are the first to finish. And people will now decide the things that you bring out for dyslexia. And then if it's not well treated, it can end up there. Please do picture it well. So one way by which a child can be dyslexic is through what? Child accidents. Most of the times, when we give birth to our children, we are so excited. Some of them even the children for younger ones to play with. The child may either fall, or maybe the child will just be sleeping on the bed, and the child will just sleep on the ground. So this is the first point I'm talking about. Yeah, that is true. Unless it's true. The next one is child abuse. Child abuse. How does child abuse brings about dyslexia? Most people who tend to stay with other children who are not their biological children, they starve them. They will keep their children well-nourished food. And then the neglected ones stay here beside them or with them. They tend to give them food which are not well balanced. When you do that, a child can be what? Dyslexic. So you need to, the same quantity of nutrients. My brother, you are laughing. It's very serious. It's very serious. The same way you feed your child, feed the one staying beside you. I know that the economy is difficult. But once you are able to provide for your child, you should be able to provide for your sister or your brother's child with you. I believe you can do that. Amen. Amen. So now, having seen the causes, let's look at the effects. The effects of what dyslexia. Now, when these children are not well handled, they can end up being what? Alcohol addicted kids or drug abuse. Now, in the classroom, because of the stigma that is attached to them, oh, where they only shame to me. I remember a teacher on campus, as soon as he enters the classroom, hey, the better was following. You know the better was following. The better was following. We have some big boys in the class. Their interest was not to learn. Because the parents were just forcing them to come to school. So they come to school and just come and misbehave. Sometimes they will be tempted to steal exercise books. Or when you even do your work, they will steal your exercise book, take the cover off, and they will replace it. They are the job for me. And they were even happy. When the teacher comes to us, they are the job following, say, you are out. They are proud of it. But it's wrong. The stigma that is attached to them alone, sometimes it kills their spirits and they just go out of the classroom. And have you asked yourself, where are they going to end up? Because of your negligence. Because you are not able to understand them, to encourage them and support them. Your behavior. And the most dangerous aspect is their colleagues that sees them after dictation. Then you just take your book. Kweku 3, Ajwa 4. Then you see people happy. Mahabina 2. Kofi 0. They will even draw the face of the person in the exercise book. It kills their spirit. So they'll just leave the school for you and go away. Are we okay when they leave the school for us to go away? As a teacher, our mandate is to what? Help grow and shape the lives of what? People. Because you wouldn't know when the table will turn around. Recently there was a video. A teacher who was very wicked to a boy in school. This man retired and he bought a piece of land. And look at what God did. That stubborn boy in school that the teacher contributed in sacking the boy out of school was the same person who saved the life of the teacher. Because he has now become a landlord. So when they got to the land of his teacher, he saw the man coming. But I'm sure that the God spoke to his heart. So he responded. He paid the man in a good way. When they got to the site and the landlords were misbehaving with their guns and things, he just told them, that man coming was my teacher. Spare his life. So you see these children that we are teaching, they can one day save our life. It's not about saving lives alone. But you know they bless us and they curse us. Yes. They bless us and they curse us. You don't know. When you cause a pain to a child today, remember tomorrow is waiting for you. It will just roll back and it will knock at your door. Let us show them love so that they will not be out of school. Rather, we should help to what? Maintain them in school. Now, another way too is that some of them can just end up being what? Being what? Especially the ladies. Being what? Prostitutes. Some may be what? Teenage pregnancy. She lives here, nothing is going on. Hey, school will come and come and see me, imagine. Teachers look down on me. Hey, you see one stupid guy somewhere. Oh, come for this, come for that. There's a saying that there's no free lunch in Africa. There is no free lunch in Africa. Whatever you are giving today, you pay back tomorrow. True or false? It's true. Pardon? Somehow false. Oh my brother, looking at that situation, there's no free lunch in Africa. Whatever we are giving today. Some of us are giving for 30 already. Really? And then suicide. We also have what? Suicide. When they are not able to handle the pressures coming, hey, let me put an end to life. Because he sees that all his friends are going and he has been what? Left behind. What is my use? All my friends are going. My friends are making it in life. So if he's not able to get a good counselor to help, to let him or her know that suicide is not the end of life, the child will just end this on your life. And you as the teacher, out of your negligence, when you should hear that such a child is committed suicide, will you smile in your heart? Will you be happy? There are so many ways by which you can help them. Otherwise, they'll just be roaming on the streets. Let us stop the stigma. Now, these dyslexic children, most of them in our society, have become useful people. We have big people who were once dyslexic, but today they are the champions. Cast your mind back. Look at your mates that you started school with. Those who were not good, where are they today? I need just 3 people to give me an example. Where are they today?
There was a mate at the secondary school. I used to love him. He used to him.
Sorry, can you ask that?
A mate in the secondary school, elective class, I used to love him. This word means 8 times 8. And today, he's one of the linguistics. I was surprised.